Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sue, and welcome to Minnesota. This is an absolutely beautiful day. I like to say it's like this every day, but it is in our hearts. And we have a lot of heart. I hope you got from the event last night. I hope you got here from the airport yesterday okay. Some of you might have noticed MnDOT closed I-35 North just in time for this conference. So we created a little congestion. Sue talks about the seasons. I just say, even though today is the beautiful first day of fall, it is definitely, we're still in the middle of road construction season, which will continue for a while. We have this summer about $1 billion worth of projects around the state of Minnesota. That's 300 projects. Half of them are right in the metro. So it is a complicated puzzle. So you're thinking, what's the highway guy doing here at the Revolution conference talking about my construction projects? But first, as a caveat, I have to let you know, and many of you know, I am genetically actually a bus guy. I have managed a family business, which was a bus business, that started 95 years ago in Minnesota on the Jefferson Highway, which was a dirt road heading south to Iowa. My grandfather used to put blades on the front of buses just to plow the snow to keep the roads open, so I feel like I have some of that in my blood. But I mention that because over the past 3 decades, I've actually worked to expand that system in 13 states, from Montana to Wisconsin and from Minnesota down to Texas. And I actually know and have experienced the value of a transportation entity is in the network, in the integrated network of connections. It is not about one line or even one mode, but it is how it all pieces together. We're fortunate in Minnesota to enjoy this incredibly diverse economy, as Sue mentioned, an increasingly diverse population, but most importantly, a tradition of active civic engagement. What the infrastructure that we're kind of enjoying, and not just highways and bridges and transit, but arts and built environments, especially parks, really comes from this multi-sector commitment. It is government, but it is also businesses and foundations and nonprofits. And all of it works together. We sometimes build on our history, and what we're most proud of is really the past 10 years. But like the reception last night at Union Station, we're able to repurpose and sometimes come back to some of the parts of our heritage that we are most proud of, and in fact, the livability that we all really care about. When I came by the hotel yesterday to pick up my registration, no surprise, I actually came here by bike. Not just because, well, I get exercise, but it's actually more convenient for me. I'm living in South Minneapolis, and I take the Greenway, which is a great, thank you. The old railroad line, which is now, due to civic commitment, purpose, foundation support, businesses along the way, and our collaborations of all the units of government, I'm taking that Greenway right to Jefferson Lines. I go through the Mail. I take the bike lane next to the Hiawatha line, right downtown, and the single bike lane across 3rd, and take the mall here. And what's interesting, door to door on my little circle, 95% of that was on a dedicated lane or a trail. And it passed, I don't think the citizens know, how many different ownerships, units of government that collaborated, that stitched together that system. So MnDOT is more than a highway department. We have a vision that encompasses this increasingly integrated system of roads, transit, rail, airports, waterways, and yes, highways, that maximizes, the vision is that we maximize the health of people, the environment, and the economy. We actually have a family of plans we have that are underneath that vision. We have a rail plan, a statewide rail plan, a statewide waterways and ports plan, a Greater Minnesota plan. Yes, we do have a highway and bridge plan. But we also, and this is kind of unique to many states, we are working on our statewide bike plan, and we'll probably be the second state of the union to have a statewide pedestrian plan. Yes, thank you. You know, this past year we adopted a complete streets policy, and we're working on the technical memos that actually defines standards that will not only inform MnDOT projects and road construction, but will also help set standards for counties and municipalities so that they know it's safe to think beyond just moving traffic. Some of the projects we're most proud of around the state of Minnesota and here in the metro involve this multimodal approach to what was traditionally just something for cars. We work collaboratively with counties, cities, and as Sue said, always with Met Council. Much of the transit build-out that you look at in the maps involve highway MnDOT projects, such as MnPass lanes, which is a market mechanism way of getting greater traffic through corridors, but really they're transit ways and it accommodates rapid bus transit and better transit connections. We are looking at ways to measure return on investment. Return on investment for transportation is critical in the business case that we are making before our legislature and around the country that these investments have solid returns. We're actually working with Smart Growth America this fall to develop greater measures of return that go beyond the traditional DOT measures of traffic speed and safety benefits. We're looking at health impacts, environmental benefits, general livability qualities that we now are able to measure have significant, measurable returns toward our prosperity and ultimately our quality of life. And I want to just touch on the equity issue that Sue mentioned. Met Council is taking a leadership role. MnDOT has fully subscribed to their Thrive initiative and commitments. It's not lost on us that when I-94 is built, or many highways, interstates through the 60s, it bifurcated communities. We're still feeling and hearing the stories of neighborhoods that have been affected by that large, blunt instrument of a highway construction project. So we know we can either build bridges or we can build barriers. And recently, the I-35E reconstruction in St. Paul, we've worked closely with the community to try to mitigate what we understand is important issues of access, ways that communities and neighborhoods can not only get to jobs, but get to shopping, schools, and stores. So it is a sensibility that is evolving quickly, and we're thrilled to be a part of it, and we're thrilled to be here because a lot of those ideas generate at Volution. So I've been coming for several years. I'm a huge fan. We're here to learn. I'm here to learn. So thank you all very much for coming and sharing your stories with us. Thank you.